What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. As you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about periods in prison. I don't even want to hear anyone complain. You saw the title and you clicked on it anyway. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Jess. I'm a person in long-term recovery who has served time in prison, and my entire crazy life story is in the description box down below. If you want to follow me on any other social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, Patreon, that's $2. It's only ever going to be $2. All of that is linked down below, as well as my vlog channel. Please go subscribe to that because I am posting all kinds of stuff for my wedding. There's just a bunch of videos over there that I think you guys will seriously love. Also, my podcast is in the description box down below. We're uploading a new episode every single week. Hiram vibes, you know? No? Okay. All right, let's just jump right into this today. Before I get started on showing you how to make tampons out of pads, do not do this at home. Do not do this at home. This is dangerous. The pads that we use in prison are nothing like the pads that I'm about to show you, so you can't even get the same ones in the free world. The ones that are sold in the street are just super powdery and cottony, and it's so dangerous. So if you attempt to do this at home, you can get TSS, which is toxic shock syndrome. This is not safe. Don't do this. The only reason we had to do this in prison was because of a necessity. We had to. We had no choice. Now, when I say we had no choice, I mean we had no choice in Arkansas. They gave us 2 pads a day, and out of those pads we had to make tampons so that we could survive a period, because you can make 4 to 5 tampons out of 1 pad, and that makes it last longer. So this was out of survival. This was out of necessity. This was so there was not blood everywhere. And I have received so many comments when I'm talking about period poverty in prison. I've received tons of comments that say, just don't break the law, shouldn't have broken the law. Actually, we'll put them on the screen right now. This is my life on the internet talking about what men and women go through in prison. Now, specifically, this video is about women. I will tell you right now, no woman deserves to be left alone bleeding in a dirty jail cell. It is traumatic to have your period and not have the products to properly care for yourself, both in and out of prison. Period poverty is a real thing around the world. I think that it's something that we need to pay close attention to. Specifically, women in America cannot afford periods. I spend on average $50 a month on my period, you know, and period products are expensive. So let's get into this and then I'll rant and rave. Okay, so this is a pad that I found at Walmart or Target or something. Again, this is not like the pad that you would get in prison. Some prisons understand the importance of not having blood everywhere and understand the importance of giving women exactly what they need to survive a period. In New York, this wasn't an issue. They were like, how much you need? 20 tampons and 5 pads? Cool, take it. And they wouldn't treat you like you're subhuman asking for pads. A lot of officers that I encountered in Arkansas acted as if pads were coming out of their own pocket, and they straight up wouldn't give us tampons. And for everyone that's saying, oh, they probably don't want to give you tampons because of TSS, you're wrong. If they cared about TSS, they would give us the proper thing so that we were not making tampons out of pads. Okay, here we go. So we would take this and we would keep the back on. So we would keep this wrapper, and it would not look like this. It would not look all broken and destroyed. We would keep this wrapper because we would put our tampons that we make into the wrapper to try to keep it sanitary. Now again, another thing that is super important when you're making pads in prison is don't, but is to do it with clean hands and on the cleanest space that you can. So what we would do is we would take it apart. I have nails. This is going to be a little bit more challenging for me because I have acrylics. But we would pull this apart. And you see how in the street, I don't know if you could see that on camera, but super powdery. This is not, again, I repeat, this is not the kind of pad that you would get in prison, but it's the best that I could do. So we would separate this. We would separate this piece right here. So it looks like just this. It's this part of the pad. So you see how large this is? We are going to be able to make a bunch of tampons out of the cotton on the inside and this outer shell. Now I'm just gonna bring you down to table level so that you guys can see what I'm doing. This outer part of the pad is going to be the only protector from the cotton inside of our body, which is horrifying when you think about it. So what we would do is we would take clean hands, and this was so much easier to do with those state issued pads because like I said, they weren't as powdery, and it was just a lot easier. When I first had to learn how to do this, I was absolutely mortified. I just couldn't believe that this is what women have to go through in certain facilities. So we would take the cotton and wrap it as tightly as we can on the cleanest surface that we can with clean hands. And we would make sure it's very, very, very tight, just as tight as we can. If you can see, this is why we cannot do this at home. And it's why you shouldn't do it in prison. But at home, these are super cottony and super powdery and just not good. So we would roll it as tight as we can. Make sure you're folding over this part because that's the top of the tampon. And we want to keep that cotton in there the best that we can. And then from here, we take it, we twist it. Now I obviously have a lot of extra here. That's to make other tampons. So go ahead and rip this part. Looks very different in the street. So I'm just twisting it to make sure that cotton is all in there. And I have nails, so I can't tie it, but you would tie it as tight as you can, and you would make a tampon out of a pad. So this would be the string, and then this would be what the tampon is. And my nails are just too long for this, I think, but I'll try anyway. I can't even button buttons on my shirt with acrylic nails. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. But you guys get the point. That is how you make a tampon out of a pad. So then once it's tied, we'll use a hair tie. I'm so dumb. But like I said, I can't, there's no way I can tie this with acrylic nails. I'm so bad at being a girl, I can't do anything. That is not what you do in prison, but it just gets the point across. So then the wrapper, we would make sure that when we take the pad out, we had like the wrapper, it would be sealed. So then we'd take our tampon and we'd put it in here, and we just make more and more and more. So I would make as many as I possibly could out of one pad. I could probably get 4 to 6 tampons out of one pad in prison. It is so easy to sit at home on the internet and judge people that have gone to prison. It's so easy to say, just don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Shouldn't have broken the law. I have to pay for my tampons. Why should an inmate get them for free? It's so easy to say these very judgmental things. And I've seen people with that attitude come through the county jail. They look shocked and devastated and they're crying, and it's traumatizing, like I said, to not be able to clean up after yourself when you're struggling with a period. This is a very real issue inside of women's facilities. And the reason why it's so difficult to bring about change is because of that mentality online and in our communities. Oh, out of sight, out of mind, they broke the law, deal with it. Don't like it, don't go to jail. Or
if jail was so bad or prison was so bad, you wouldn't keep going back.
What is so mind-blowing here is it's so much easier to be in prison than it is to be in the street and get your life together. Everyone wants to see a comeback story, but no one wants to help on the come up. Prisons have communities, and you have a job in prison, and you are fed, and you have a place to sleep in prison. And then when you get out, it's complete isolation. You're jobless. Maybe you're homeless. You can't get on your feet because everyone says, oh, you should have thought about that before you committed a crime. And it's like, you can't win. This is why people go back to prison. That's why they get stuck in this cycle, because it is so hard to get your life together outside of prison. And once you've lived your life a certain way for so long, it's so hard to change every single thing about who you are as a person. And trust me, I know from personal experience. Something else that I want to say here is that yes, we have to pay for pads and tampons in the street, which, oh my gosh, there should be programs for that. But If you're going to demand that inmates pay for their own period products, then you have to give inmates a way to earn revenue to do so, because not every inmate has family to send them money. And what was so crazy in Arkansas is that we could buy tampons on commissary, but they weren't for free. This is so that the prison makes money off of our period. And for everyone that has asked me over the years, can I just donate period products to prison? I love you for asking, but no, you can't donate anything that the prison sells. So if the prison sells pads and tampons on commissary, you can't donate it. If the prison gives you socks, you can't donate socks. But there are a couple of times a year where you could donate t-shirts and socks to certain prisons, and the inmates get a new t-shirt and a new pair of socks for Christmas in some facilities, which is amazing. And we're so grateful for that. I can't even tell you how happy the women are just to get a new t-shirt and a new pair of socks. Inmates also have to buy sweatpants and they have to buy t-shirts. They don't just get free t-shirts in prison. They get a free like Class A, which is a like uniform, like a prison uniform, but underneath that, the only thing that they have is a bra. You have to buy a t-shirt separately. Some facilities might give you one t-shirt on intake. I don't even remember, it's been so long, but anything after that, you have to pay for yourself. Like you'll get long johns and a jacket and a hat and like boots, maybe gloves, if I remember right, but you have to pay for t-shirts and you have to pay for sweatpants. If you're wondering why you'd want sweatpants, it's because you want something to sleep in. I've had to sleep in prison long johns because I just couldn't afford $52 sweatpants on commissary. Everything is inflated. I really hope this video was a little educational, and I hope you got to see what women go through in prison around this country. I wouldn't wish this experience on anybody. And I know that people think that prison is supposed to be hard, but if mental abuse, PTSD, and trauma curbed recidivism, our prisons would be empty. I'm gonna end today's video here. As always, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay in recovery, whatever that looks like to you. Please do not break the law, try your best not to. And I will see y'all in my next one.